In today's video, I am going to help you get your crochet products at local shops in your area so that you can make more money in your crochet business. You probably clicked on this video because you're either interested in getting your products out in stores in your area to make more money, or maybe you just want to build brand awareness and get more eyes on your products. Or you may be wondering if selling consignment is even worth it for you, and I will be answering all of your questions in today's video. I'll start by defining what consignment even is, and then I will go over the pros and cons for you in your crochet business, as well as sharing my top 5 tips for you to sell your crochet products successfully at shops in your area. And be sure to wait until the end of today's video because I will be wrapping up with some bonus tips on how to actually find stores that sell other people's products and making sure that you're the right fit for that store, as well as how to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm interested in selling my products here. So I will be sharing all of that in today's video. If you are new here, I want to say hi, hello, and welcome to the channel. My name is Cameron and I post weekly crochet business tips and tricks here. So be sure to subscribe down below and don't miss out on any future videos. All right, let's dive in and get started with defining what consignment even is. What I mean when I say selling consignment is another business that has a storefront, actually sells your products there. You don't have to be there. It's not like doing a craft show where you set up a booth. You set up a display and you get to go home and your products get sold at this shop. Now, with that being said, this business has to benefit doing this, so they do take a percentage of the sale. Meaning every time that product sells, that business is taking a percentage of that sale, and then they will be paying you the remainder of that sale. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to be there selling the products at the store. You set up your stuff, you get to go home, and that business is taking care of the sales and selling that product for you. But they are taking a percentage of that sale, which we will go into more details on that later in the video, but I just wanna say typically it's at least 30%. So that means they're taking, if it's a $10 sale, they're taking $3 and you get the rest. You get $7 when that item sells. Let's talk about the pros and the cons. So a really awesome pro is you can build a new customer base, especially if you have your products with your business cards laying out. You can get a lot of new customers just finding your products for the first time when your products are in locations around your area. So it's really great for building that brand awareness and gaining new customers. I also said it's a really great way to make some more money in your crochet business as well. Of course, if you follow my 5 tips. So make sure you follow my tips, but yes, if you do this the right way, you can make some awesome money in your business as well. It also really boosts your credibility and visibility. Yes, a lot more people are going to know about you because you're in a lot more places around the area, but also it boosts that credibility. So when you're at a craft show and somebody asks where they can find more of your products, you can actually let them know in the area where you're selling at and make more sales that way as well. Now, with there being pros, there are also some cons that we need to go over. One is that you only get paid if that item sells. So if you get all of your products in a shop and nothing sells, then you don't make money. You only get paid when that item actually sells to the customer. Also, another con that we went over is that business will be taking a percentage. I mean, for good reason. They are selling the product for us, right? So we can kind of consider that a fee of doing consignment, and we'll just have to make sure that our prices are adjusted accordingly so that we make sure we're making back that loss there of 30%. Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be 30%. That's pretty typical in my area. We'll be going over kind of more numbers here in a minute, but yeah, I keep referring to 30%. It's because that's usually like where I feel comfortable selling consignment. Also, another con that may affect affect you, depending on how much time you have, is if it's a place that you have to constantly go back to rearrange your products, restock super often. That can be a lot of time and energy that goes into this. So if you are already like, I am totally booked, I have no more time to give to my crochet business, some of these places, the businesses you work with, some of them will take care of that, and they'll kind of like, if you've worked retail, you know this, like when people shop your stuff, it gets all scattered around and you kind of have to go back and rearrange it. There's a lot of businesses that if you sell consignment through them, they'll do that for you. But I have an example of a friend of mine who sells consignment, and she has to drive 40 minutes twice a week to go reorganize her stuff because that particular shop doesn't do it for her. So that's just something to keep in mind. It could be a possible con if you don't have the amount of time or energy to keep up with your inventory selling consignment at some of these places. Again, it's really gonna depend on the place, but I just wanted to mention that as a possible downside to selling consignment. Let's dive into my top 5 tips for selling consignment so that you can have the most success doing this. My first tip is to find the right store. This is probably my most important tip, because if you find the wrong store and your products don't sell, it's just a huge waste of time. So what I want you to do is actually do some research on who is actually shopping at this store, see the type of products that they're selling, and see if your crochet products would be a good fit to sell there. Keep in mind what the dream customer you have, like the person that loves to buy your stuff. Keep that in mind when you go to this place and see if it's a similar price point being sold, similar colors, similar styles. That's all stuff that you want to keep in mind to ensure that you're a good fit there before you waste all this time and energy on something that may not be the right fit for you. An example, I used to sell at this place that they sold a lot of secondhand things, so they were actually resellers. It was a little bit more high-end than a thrift store, but it was definitely like lower prices on their clothing. And yes, I sold my lower price point things there really well, like my scrunchies and my keychains, because they were just $5 and they did great there. But when I tried selling my $45 beanies there, the price points just didn't align with that shop and their customer base, and those kind of completely flopped. I don't think I sold any there, and I actually had to pull that inventory back out and just sell them at my craft shows, because I know I can sell them for that price point when I do my shows, but that was just something that didn't work quite right with the price point of that particular shop. Number 2 is to understand the terms of this consignment agreement with this particular business. This is so important. I would hate for you to get into an agreement with a business and not fully know what you're getting yourself into, and you could actually risk losing a lot of money if you don't ask these questions first. So 1, know the exact percentage that they are taking out of every sale and the exact percentage of the sale that you will be getting. For our example, a $10 headband, maybe we're selling at a local boutique. Maybe they said they're gonna take 40% and you get the rest of the 60%, meaning they take $4 every time that thing sells and you'll be getting paid $6. Again, this is really going to depend on the shop. I wish it was just like a consistent number, like it's always 30%, but that isn't necessarily the case. Every business is going to have a different way of how they do consignment. And so it's just important to be really sure what percentage they are actually taking, and make sure that you are comfortable doing that as the business owner and you're not losing money every time that product sells. So I will be going into more details on how to ensure that doesn't happen to you in the next tip. But for this tip, I do have a couple more things that you need to consider when you're getting into a consignment agreement with a business. I want you to ask about any additional fees. So ask if there's any other money that they need from you, pretty much like don't word it like that, but ask them, is there a monthly fee to be set up here? Are there any other percentages that get taken out? Sometimes there might be an additional percentage that gets taken out for a card fee, things like that. So these are all just important questions to ask, and make sure that you know exactly what the agreement is as far as finances go. Is there a monthly rent? Which, yes, a lot of these places do also require a monthly rent, but there's a lot of places that don't as well, and I highly recommend trying to find the places that don't have a monthly rent. But again, it's totally up to you and what you think is going to be the best fit for your business. A couple of other things to ask them before signing anything and getting into an agreement with this business is asking how often you are going to get paid. Maybe it's weekly, maybe it's bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly. I have worked with businesses that do it a bunch of different ways. So how often can you expect they write you a check? Or that's also a really good other question is, are they writing you a check? Are they mailing you a check? Are you having to come in and pick up that check? Or is it a direct deposit? How are they paying you? And what is their system for that? Also ask about any contracts. Like, if I end up saying yes and doing this with you today, which, you know, say you're super excited about it and you want to, but also ask, hey, is there a contract of how many months I need to be here? Like, if it wasn't working out, I mean, I would hate for both of us to waste time if it wasn't working out, right? And could I pull my products out? It's just good to know that you're not signing up for a year contract and you have this monthly fee or whatever's going on, and then you're stuck. I don't want you to be stuck. So yes, a lot of these places, especially if there's a monthly fee, will have some sort of timed contract like that, like you need to be here for at least 6 months, and it's up to you if that risk is worth it or not. But I also have sold consignment at plenty of places that don't have that at all. So it's just, again, completely gonna depend on the place. Something else to consider and ask, I know this tip is kind of long, but it's because there's a lot of stuff I want you to be clear about before you agree to work with this business on consignment. And that is, what is their policy for stolen or damaged items? Luckily with crochet, we usually don't have a lot of damaged items, maybe like kids with Cheeto dust on their fingers once in a while, but that's not the end of the world. Usually things like that can actually just be washed, and it's usually not so much the damage that we're worried about, but we really don't want to be set up at a shop that there's a lot of theft at. Because if there's people stealing products from you all of the time, it's not even worth being there. Even if you're making money, then if you're getting all these products stolen from you, you might just be breaking even at that point. So just make sure that ahead of time you talk with the business and ask if they have any security cameras, what their policy is if things do get stolen. In my experience, I've only worked with one business that did actually pay me when some of the items were stolen. They did still pay me my part. That is very rare though. That is not typical. So just keep that in mind. If it's a place where there's high theft, probably not worth doing consignment there. Tip number 3 is to price your products for consignment. I want you, if this is just like the only takeaway you get from this video, let it be this. It is okay if you charge more for your products when you're selling at stores than you do at your craft shows. It's okay if the price is a bit more. Think about it this way. If I went to go get Kraft macaroni, okay, that's like a really random example, but like the Kraft brand macaroni, maybe I'm just craving macaroni, at one store versus the other, Walmart versus Fred Meyer's, their prices are going to be different for the same product. It's because a different business is selling the same product from the same company, like Kraft mac and cheese, but I don't know why. Why is that my example? Sorry. I just want you to know that it's okay that your prices are different, and your prices can be different from consignment shop to consignment shop, meaning you're selling at this local boutique that has really high prices and you up your prices a little bit and they're taking a higher commission. And then you have another place that they're taking a lower commission and their price points are usually lower and you keep your prices lower there. That is okay. I think my biggest tip for you is to keep your prices, like your lowest prices, always should be from your shop, meaning they should get the best deal when they come to you at your craft show or shop from you on your online shop. So this is kind of a businessy thing, but you're actually going to be making more money when they buy directly from you. So you always want to encourage people to buy from you, and keeping your prices that you sell your products for at the lowest is going to help ensure that. But that does not mean that you cannot sell more at consignment. When you're selling at a boutique and you want to up the price a couple dollars, don't feel bad about it. It's business, baby. Like, it's business, okay? And that is totally okay. I think a lot of times, especially as women business owners, we feel guilty about those things, but we got to make up for like that consignment fee and that percentage somewhere. And usually that's by upping the price a little bit. So if you are stressed about coming up with prices and ensuring that you actually have a profit as well, meaning that you're not losing money selling consignment, but you're actually making money in your business, then you are going to love, like absolutely adore my pricing calculator. It is a digital product I have for sale on my website, and there is a reason this is my best-selling product on my website. It is game changer if you're wanting to sell your handmade products anywhere, whether it's at craft shows, selling online, and even selling consignment. You're able to put in all your material costs, your time, other costs in your business to ensure you're actually making money. And you can even play around with the percentages and discount it 30% or discount it 40% to see if you did do consignment, if you would still be making a profit on that item. And I would hate for you to waste all this time trying to figure out all of that on a scratch piece of paper and busting out the calculator, because if you're anything like me, I would so much rather just be crocheting than doing all of the math. So let this calculator do all the math for you. It is so helpful. I seriously use it to price all of my products in my shop. And it's also how I've been able to price products to sell consignment and still make money doing that. So if you want easy, accurate pricing to ensure you're actually making profit while you're selling at these local shops, be sure to snag the pricing calculator. I will link that down below for you in the description box. Tip number 4 is to stand out with your quality and branding. It's really important that the quality of your products and your brand aligns with the values of the store that you are selling at. You can do this through your added branded tags, care instructions. You could package things a certain way. Actually, in my experience as a graphic designer, I went to school to be a graphic designer, and I guess I crochet now, but you know, I have that experience still. I actually learned in school that people pay more if it's packaged better. So like, literally just packaging, even if it barely costs you anything more, you can actually sell that product for more money. And that shop is really gonna love a really professional branded product, because that's just gonna make their shop look better as well, if that makes sense. So definitely take some time to come up with packaging and tags that actually look really professional in your business. I had a store that I sold consignment at, and they were natural skincare. And when I was selling there, they really loved that my tags the pins were reusable and that my tags were recyclable. They were really happy that I wasn't using plastic in my tags. So that was a way that I was able to align with that business's values and be able to sell at their shop. Oh, and also, if you don't already have my free tag template, go ahead and snag it down below in the description box. This is a Canva template that I designed. You can use it at your craft shows, you can use it on your products online, and you can also use it on the products that you're selling at shops around your area as well to make you look a lot more professional and branded. You can customize this template with your information, your logo, your colors that match your brand, and I'm super excited for you to snag the template if you don't already have it. Tip number 5 is to track your inventory. I promise you, like, I know it's extra work, but I promise you that it is so worth it to track your inventory. If you know exactly what products are at what shop, especially if you start working with multiple shops that you're doing consignment, it is so nice to be organized on your end so that you can track what is selling at what shop, where you need to restock, and where you may need to pull your products from if it's not been worth it for you. So tracking your inventory and having all of that organized on your end is going to make selling consignment such a smoother experience. A lot of these businesses will actually give you a report. Depends, either at the end of the week, the end of the month, it depends on the shop. Usually when they pay you though, they'll give you a report of what sold. So that is all good to keep in mind, but once in a while, go in there and count your inventory and just double check, because I wanna make sure that you're not getting like ripped off or something, or things are getting stolen that you didn't know about. And so that's always just something to keep in mind. Keep your own set of numbers as far as where your inventory is selling consignment. Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you to stick around to the end because I would be sharing with you exactly how to find these stores to sell your products at, as well as how to approach them. So this is that part of the video. I'm so excited to share with you the best places to find shops that will actually sell your products. One is just to do a simple Google search, artisan shops, local boutiques, even some coffee shops. Look around next time you go to some of these local businesses and see if they have a table or maybe a section of the store where they have handmade goods. I know a coffee shop that I love to go to sells local honey there. They sell skincare there up at the front as people order their coffee. So that's just something to keep in mind. Keep an eye out, do some Google searches. That's like my first place to find generally where to sell these things. Also, be sure to stay on the lookout for any businesses that have a support local mission. You can find these people online as well by using hashtags on Instagram, or just, again, doing quick Google searches, because those type of businesses are gonna be the ones that want to support you because they want to support local, and that's gonna be the best fit for you as far as your product selling and just having a good relationship with that business as well. Another way I love to find local shops to sell at is talking with vendors at my craft shows. So whether you're doing markets or not, next time you're set up at a craft show, talk to your vendor neighbors, or next time you're at a craft show and you're just walking around as a customer, chat with vendors and ask if they sell their work anywhere else. A lot of vendors, like doing craft shows and doing markets, actually do consignment as well with their, leftover inventory they'll put in stores around the area. So definitely ask vendors and join Facebook groups with vendors as well. Ask in these communities, because this is how I found the most successful places to sell at, because we're actually getting to ask that person who sells their products there instead of just reaching the business themselves. So I hope that makes sense and that is helpful. That is how to find these shops. And as far as how to reach out to the shop once you find out about them and want to see if you'd be a good fit. So one is, I would definitely recommend checking out these shops in person first before you reach out to them, and just see if you'd be a good fit. Walk around, look at price points, look at the products, and try to imagine your products being sold at this store. Then you can either do one of two things. In person, you can ask to speak to the manager. Can I speak to the manager, please? No, you could say, hey, I crochet. I would love to sell my work here. I love your shop. Is there any possibility I can talk to the store owner or the manager today? And you can start that discussion that way. Or if you're a little more introverted, then you can definitely go the route of sending out an email to open up that door as well, by sending a quick email to the store owner saying, attaching some photos and just saying, hey, I crochet and I love your work. I think my stuff would be a great addition to your shop. Let me know how we can work together. And, you'll figure out the details from there, but that's kind of how to open up that conversation. Trust me, it's not weird. They probably have businesses doing this all of the time, especially if they're already a shop that sells consignment. So I know it's a little nerve-wracking, but put yourself out there, and I promise you, the more you ask and the more you do this, it's gonna feel a lot more comfortable, and soon enough, you're gonna have products all over your town and you're gonna be killing it selling your crochet at local shops. If you have any questions about selling consignment or any experiences selling consignment, go ahead and comment those in the comment section down below. While you're down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my weekly crochet business tips to help you make more money in your business. And also, I do want to mention I have a craft show course coming up specifically for crocheters. So if you like videos like this one, You are going to love what's included inside this course. I can't wait to share more details, but the best way to stay connected and get updates on this upcoming course is going to be on my Instagram page, which I will link for you here on this screen. And until then, I will see you, my friend, in this video right here. Bye.